welcome back to welcome back to day 142. So this being said, I remember it was Billie Eilish yesterday. I couldn't remember freaking Billie Eilish's name for after this for like 2 or 3 more hours. And I was in the shower and I'm just like, I know the moment I get rid of enough allergies I'm gonna remember, because it slowly started to come back to me, because I was like Billy Joel, Billy Ray Cyrus, Billy Bob. I was like Billy Edwards, Billy Elliot. And I was in the shower, I'm like, it's so close, it was so close. I'm like, I almost have it. Until finally, I was like, Billie Eilish, and I literally was like, of course, duh. So, I have to make my bed, which since I have allergies, I need to go make my bed after I take a shower. But I want to touch freaking dust and stuff, so I'm gonna then have to re-rinse off my arms, and I'm like, I don't wanna, that's like a lot of work, but it is what it is. But I am so glad to have a nice freshly washed bed. I think it's gonna be so nice and only super stressful to do. Yeah, I'm just gonna do it. I like having it like the pillows sit out all day, but I got up super late today, like super late, so I did not get much sunlight in my room at all. Like an hour of sunlight, like something like okay, because usually I like having the sun be on the pillows for a while, so it repuffs them. But the thing is, also last time I did bedsheet, I washed a few of my pillows, like 4 of them. I have 6 pillows, but I don't know which 2 I didn't wash. So, but yeah. Must confess that I still believe. Yeah, not this song, obviously. Well, not obviously, but obviously. There's songs stuck in my head. I'm like brushing my teeth and I got this song. I'm like, dude, I got this beat. It's in my head, and I had allergies again, so I'm just like, guys, it's in my head. And I was like, listen, my phone's downstairs. Can someone do me a favor and look up the song? And I was like, oh, I couldn't. I'm trying to remember what song was stuck in my head, because now I have the other song stuck in my head. Not like what song, or like the lyrics. And it was like kind of funky. And I was like, see, I just have the beat of the other song of Still Believe. Because now it was staying like I Will Survive, and it was like, like without you by my side, I will still survive, and like that like chunk of, I don't know, chorus lyrics, I don't know what the song makeup is, never had that, but the song, I had like that chunk, but the part that I didn't have was I will still survive. All I got was survive. I'm like, oh god, what was the lyric that I had? in my head. It was Demise. No, what was it? Anyways, there was a particular lyric. I was like, no, it's like, you know, the beat, and obviously I don't have it now. Just song gets stuck in my head, and if you ask me any other time, I'll be like, I don't know, whatever song stuck in my head is what I'm gonna be, every beat is gonna be. So right now it's the other song, but and I was like, no, it's this song, and I'm like trying to riff it, but I'm also brushing my teeth, and I was like, it's this, it's kind of like this, and then I'm finally, my siblings looking up, and it's like, the lyrics that I did said, they're like instantly connecting it to a different song. The song that they're like, it was the theme song for Death Note, their Bridge series, and I'm like, I didn't watch Death Note, the Bridge series. Why would I be talking about Death Note, the Bridge series? No. I'm talking about this song, a real song. So finally, they're like, is it this? And then I was like, yes, that, the disco song. I will survive. And she's like, my oldest sibling was like, that song comes from, we had a Bratz mini CD with I Will Survive on it, and I'm like, I guess that's where it could be what I'm thinking of, but no, I'm just thinking about I Will Survive. But it was just so funny because I was just like brushing my teeth and just like nothing in relation was going on, but it got so stuck in my head. I remembered it all literally besides the title. I'm like, listen, the saying I missed is the title. And I'm like, I Will Survive. So, and it was disco pop music, which is really funny. Right on the side of my tongue. The side of my tongue really hurts. And I think it's just fully because of allergies. Because it is spring. Spring has sprung. I need a plant. Not plant. I need a cut new flowers. January 1, February, March. I need to go plant the garlic that's in the fridge. Maybe I'll do that tomorrow. Maybe. Should I? I don't know. Maybe. We'll see. There's ants trying to move into one of my plants. And I'm like, don't do that. I swear to God. I will find you and I will be really sad. Yeah, but I want to buy the Witcher games. I think I want to buy the Witcher games. I'm going to buy the third one. But that being said, I don't know. Probably gonna do it. Probably gonna have freaking take Cyberpunk off my computer. Made my computer super duper slow when I was streaming. It's the only thing I can think of. I updated it and then I was streaming and it was so laggy. It was super laggy and like just ugh. I love the way that when Ethan says I'm so sorry, he just is fully grabbing his boob. Very funny. But yeah, I don't know if I mentioned, but my mom wants to go back to our church, and I'm like, our church was racist, our church was homophobic, our church was transphobic, you were transphobic, homophobic, and racist. When we went there, maybe choose a different church to go back to. There's plenty of open churches, even in the same division, I don't know what you call it, of Christianity. Just choose a different one. And she's like, but I like that one. And I'm like, okay. All the people that weren't racist, homophobic, and transphobic left. You were literally left with all those people. And she's like, oh yeah, but you know, I always live a good fight. So if they say anything, I'm like, I don't care. Like, they shouldn't, you know? It's like, maybe you should just, you know, you get it? Like, it's just like the idea that like, maybe you shouldn't want to hang out and go to church with people that think because I'm trans, I'm a horrible being that is going straight to hell. You know? It's like, they literally are like, oh, they them pronouns are so hard, and then be turn around and be like part of that joke of being like, you use the wrong they them, or like they're there and there kind of situation. And I'm like, well, if you know the difference between there and there, but you don't know the difference or can't use they them and their in a sentence, maybe you need to go back to English. Like, what the hell? Like, they literally would say that at the same time, and I'm just like, okay, those are people my age, and then there's, of course, adults. And the adults, because they didn't realize that I was, you know, not racist, I guess. Because in a room full of white people will be like, oh man, this is the black family at church, you know, am I right? And I'm just like, no. And then somebody says the thing about Japanese people, no, like, am I right? I'm like, no. And then they stopped. To me. I want to emphasize, they will stop to you. So, like, even if my mom does stick up and say, like, oh, my trans kid, they might just stop saying those things to you. So it's just like, it's this fake sweetness, I guess. But it's like, it's not real. Just like the same thing with, they're no longer not racist if they don't say things to me. Or homophobic if they say things to me. But they still are. And, they're going to try to do that. And, why would you want to go and just, like, even if you do, like, oh, I love a battle, I'm like, okay, why would you want to go to a church to fight people every week? And she wants to go on Wednesdays too, so twice a week. And it's like, okay. And then she's like, well, what if I change my mind? You'll never change your mind. She's like, what if I change my mind? What if I'm supposed to go there and be this one person in the Bible and spread the word of you being trans and fine and not going to hell? I'm like, okay, you can try, but it does, it's not gonna work. It's just not. It's just not. Fun fact, it's not. And, I mean, they literally, one family that I was talking about was literally, they left their old church because the congregation accepted gay people in the congregation, not married, not even holding their funeral or any of that. just allowed them in the congregation. Like, I'm like, did they let gay people marry at your church? And they're like, no, we didn't have any gay people until they started going into our congregation. They're not allowed to marry, they just are there. Okay, sorry, I thought the all welcome meant all welcome. And then the idea that that means our church was the most welcoming anti-gay church that you can find. You know, maybe, hear me out, maybe. Oh my god, you know? And I don't know, that idea, it makes me sick thinking about it. It really makes me angry. And then on top of it, having the Falcon and the Winter Soldier have, I mean, obviously they're freaking sucking the military's dick over here, but that's not the point. Having it be super pro-military, and then having queer baiting and talking about these serious issues of having like black men be experimented on and stuff. These are all serious, but then having queer baiting, if you go against it, they're gonna be like, well, main character's a black guy, that's a story plot of it, and I'm like, no, that's not why I would stop watching. It backs you in the corner. But they again took off Love Victor and Love Simon because it was too adult. They have Nazis. They have Luke Skywalker getting his hand cut off. They have other adult themes of sex and love and other things where it's like, okay, they have teen coming of age stories from other people. Why is it suddenly, if it's gay, suddenly more sexual, even if it's line by line the same thing? It's a very serious issue where orientation is deemed more sexual than straight. Suddenly it is super sexualized, and it is not okay. Like, even if people say like, oh, trans, they'll instantly be like, okay, well, what genitals do you have? You got a vagina? You got a penor? And it's like, what? Okay, that's like, okay, maybe you have a curiosity, but it's like, but then if I'm like, okay, blank person is gay, people instantly think they're sex, but I'm like, oh, blank person is straight, they don't think that's straight sex. They're like, okay, normal. I wouldn't say default, but apparently people take default as an insult. But I was trying to prove that I was like, you don't think anything of it, it is default, you know?